Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I know we have individuals here from different continents, and so we're so grateful that you've joined us today. This is our Power Partner community, and so we appreciate you taking time to be here today to learn more about King's Counsel and Trust and our Power Partners. Now, I know we have a lot of our team here today. Some of this may be repetitive. If you're like me, I know that sometimes I need to hear things a few times and I get new things each time. So we're really excited that you're here. We are going to open it up at the end for Q&A, but we do encourage you, if you have questions that come up throughout, please put that in the chat. We're really here for you today. This is not only a time for us to share what we're doing with King's Counsel and Trust and to learn a little bit more, but also what are you up to? How can we support you? So please feel free to drop your information in the chat. Let us know who you are, if there's something that you need. We are going to do a breakout session. So let me go through the agenda. First, you're going to meet some of the KCT team, and we've got a lot of us here today, which I'm really excited and grateful. You guys I have this thing, and you've probably heard it, 1 and 1 in my book is not 2. 1 and 1 when it comes to minds coming together for a cause can often be this momentum to equal 11. And so just a little, silly thing, but as you get to meet the team, you're going to be able to hear a vast knowledge and array of expertise that are committed to be strategic philanthropists and making a difference in the world. So I imagine if you're here, you have that same mission and vision. You're going to learn about our Power Partners, how you can get involved, what that looks like. We've got a lot of things that we love collaborating and partnering and working with other individuals. And it's one of the reasons why I'm here and excited. Then the breakout session, we want to foster community and collaboration. And so in this breakout session will be a time for you to meet other individuals and also share if there's something that you're looking for or a place that you need support. Then we're going to give you a quick update on our ICO wallet. That's one of the big initiatives that we've been working on the last few months, and we're really excited what's been happening there. And then we will open it up for Q&A. But please, if a question comes up during this, put it down, because we do want to hear from you, and we want to make sure that your questions are answered. If there's anything that doesn't get answered, we'll provide an email and we'll make sure we follow up with you afterwards. So here's our mission and vision. I'm just going to pause for a minute just to take a quick view of what that is. So I don't know about you, but I love the idea of sharing good news and helping others fulfill God's will. And that's one of the things that I love about this community, is that there's lots of supporting people on their journey, and whether they're an individual getting their house in order or they're a corporation that's looking to have a global impact. They have been remarkable at doing that. So I'm going to pass this off to our fearless leader, which I believe every single one of you know here and have the opportunity to work with personally. When I first connected with Dale was over 14 years ago, but it was a few years ago where I had the opportunity to help create what we call an expert power bio. And when he went through our 13 questions and I got to see kind of behind the curtain about Dale, not only did I realize that he has, I hope it's okay I'm saying this, Dale, that he has crossed over a number of times, those near-death experiences and come back. But it became clear to me, and we've tagged him as a financial futurist. We believe that he's an individual who's been given a blueprint to help us navigate this change that's going on right now. And he's been doing it for quite some time, helping people get ready with that. So Dale, I'm going to go ahead and pass this over to you. And you're muted.
Yeah, thank you. Always interested to reflect back, how we got started and where we are today and how we've reinvented ourselves. It seems almost every year. And it's become very familiar to us, King's Counsel and Trust, but not so much everyone else, especially after last year. So I think if one thing really does set us apart is, since we've been a virtual family office since 2010 is our ability to leverage technology and systems to allow us to connect with anyone. You see this little map thing behind us worldwide. And how do we be effective in 5 countries in one day, for example, without jumping on a plane? And how do we get in front of people where right now it's still a big question mark as to how do you get there, how many can be in the room, how close you can, get together, whether or not you can even hug a tree is questionable. So that's a part of what sets us apart. We've been there, done that, and here we are today, multi-continent, multi-time zone, et cetera, and doing that well. So it's not that we need to have a certain number of friends, as it were, or members, as it were. It's a certain number of those that you can count on. And it's the people that show up on a consistent, regular basis that we've come to know and love and trust that we can count on. Some of those I'd just briefly like to introduce today for the record, and those that might be coming back to listen after the fact. If you don't know them by name already, you will. One of my right-hand man on a regular basis, the longest tenured here, I believe, is Thomas Richter, and he's going to talk more about what it means to be a power partner today. And but Tom also came in. You can read a little bit about that here, but I'll also highlight that he came in with Larry Tyler, former mentor of mine, Counsel of 7, and they met down in the rainforest of all places. There's a couple others. They're not present here today, but it was, I think, well over a decade. The both of y'all kind of started to scratch the surface and say, there's got to be more to this thing. Equally as important, though, across the pond, we've got Rui Pereira. We're going, ironically enough, going on almost a year, and kind of back and forth and getting to know one another. And David Dunworth, I've known going on a good long time as well. That's been able to help out in our trust and fiduciary services. We were always one that's not so much what you make as how well you steward what you've already been given. In some cases, that means watching it like a hawk and making sure it's not squandered. And in many cases, that's where taxes can quickly erode. So more about what you keep. So with that, and saving the best for last, Shannon, of course, community development, and a part of what she's doing to make it happen for us to be here with producing hundreds and hundreds of events, mostly in a physical space, but really thriving in these uncertain, dynamic times. We bring a lot of expertise, out of the box thinking to the table. And so that, as a general overview, is kind of like who's on board here today. I'd like to hear, Thomas, since you're going to lead us off in cooperative marketing. Shannon, we've just heard a few sound bites from yourself getting involved. Larry, if you wouldn't mind a little bit more about yourself, and obviously you're still here.
Yeah, fell in love with Dale and Thomas and the concepts that God has given them. I really love, and I'm a cash flow guy. I work inside of businesses, get my hands dirty with the numbers, so to speak. I don't like to do accounting, but I can interpret the numbers for business owners to help them become more operationally effective and profitable. And what I love about what King's Counsel is doing is cash flow related versus balance sheet accounting and type of things like that. But the principles that have been given to Dale and Thomas, they're kingdom principles. There are too many people, too many of us are splitting, I see, kingdoms. We got the world, we got God's kingdom, so to speak. And what's going to work today, and the futurist of the Dale, Shannon talked about Dale strategies, and Thomas comes forth with a lot of strategies. Is really what we need to, I think, to be able to succeed and thrive in this marketplace chaos that's happening around the world. So it's always a pleasure, and just the wisdom that exudes from Thomas and Dale and Shannon is fantastic. So I just want to ride their coattails or touch the hem of their garment, so to speak. So
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Rui, you're the new kid on the block. A couple minutes from yourself.
Yes. Greetings, everyone, from Johannesburg in South Africa. I met Dale coming on to a year ago now, and Dale was introduced to me by Shannon. And what I liked about what Dale and I spoke about at that very first meeting, I interpret that first meeting as a meeting of the minds, because a lot of what Dale was saying, I understood the principle, because I am a business consultant who does pretty much the same sort of thing in this part of the world. However, Dale's take on how to achieve the reward structure for investors is a dynamic that I had not been made aware of in the past. And I found this to be of interest, and it intrigued me. And here I am knocking on the door for 12 months later and still enjoying every moment of it. Thank you.
Dale, you're muted.
Thank you, Rui. No, we do like to have a good time, and even in the light of conflict and controversy. If I could, David, just a couple sound bites from yourself, sir. Thank you.
Sure. I work with King's Counsel and Trust for about, I don't know, 2.5 years, I think, but maybe 3. But I first met King's Counsel and Trust in 2009. Jim Geigert, who some of you may know, who has since relocated and moved on to other things, is the man who brought me the initial taste of King's Counsel and Trust. And I met Dale several years ago, and just fell in love with the concept of what KCT does. And I work with KCT, and I work with what I'll call a sister or cousin organization, ICOVEST. And my forte is what I specialize in with KCT is our fiduciary wealth preservation strategies and trust work. But I also support the organization with a bit of copywriting. I'm a professional copywriter. And so that's what I bring to the table. And I am so happy to be here. Thanks.
Thank you, David. Thomas, today's part of really your expertise and show. And I really appreciate your tenure as well, but your ability to say my more with your less is a really nice balance. And to always question, is what we're speaking and how we're speaking, speaking life or death, as it were. So with that, Thomas, I'd like to hear a little bit from yourself, because you've always got a really neat share to add in addition to your profile before you get into some of what we're doing with our power partners and cooperative agreement. Go ahead.
All right. Well, just a little background on myself. If your video was on, you saw my youngest son greet me. He's 26 years old last month. I just discovered this morning talking with David Dunsworth that my son and his son share the same name, Ian. So that's kind of one of the nice things about being part of KCT in the role that I have. And I think you will find it enjoyable, even as a potential power partner, is that this isn't just about business. This is about family. This is about getting to know what's going on, behind the scenes. And this is a safe place to, let your hair down for those who still have it. Sorry, Rui. I just keep walking into that one. But again, it's really a delight to, 10 years has gone by. It seems like 10 months, frankly. I did meet Larry down in Panama. I don't know that I asked Larry why he ended up going down to Panama, but I went down there because it was an act of obedience. And my takeaway was, and I think Larry would agree with this wholeheartedly, I have maintained some relationships from that rainforest adventure over 10 years ago, not with everybody, but with the ones that God wanted me to maintain relationship with. And that's really the discovery that I took away from that adventure was you can't do business alone in the kingdom. You've been doing it alone in the world system and you've been reasonably successful at it. But that's not your greater calling. It's not to do it on your own by yourself as a lone ranger. And growing up in the United States, I was basically, what was modeled for me is you're your own captain of your own ship. My father was self-employed. Both my brothers are self-employed. I've been self-employed. I don't know anything but self-employment, but that's a pretty lonely road. And it's even a lonely road for those who are involved in big business, at the C-suite. So, King's Counsel and Trust desire is to come alongside with something beyond just good wisdom and, timely wisdom, but, let people know that we care about the individual, and that's why we're here. So if you feel like we're different, we're different on purpose.
Well said. Thank you for sharing.
Well, regarding, you go ahead and tee it up there, Dale.
Yeah, if you don't mind. So power partners, we don't own that term. But we like that term because, Shannon started to share in some of the women's empowerment group, what are they doing to kind of differentiate themselves from being your run-of-the-mill affiliate or associate, or I don't know, they didn't really, it sound okay, but power partners almost feels like a superhero kind of thing. And the partner relation is coming together. I don't know about Wonder Twins or like the Avengers or something. I like that. And if I'm going to go off and just get creative about, entertaining, I'd like to see how they all come together with their own unique gifts and talents. And that really speaks to the diversity of the stone soup recipe that the Lord's given us and what we formerly call the cooperative marketing covenant, not a contract, but a covenant. And where the covenant is different than the contract, just briefly, is simply if I say I'm going to do it, it's not conditional on whether or not you do it your part or not. I'm going to love you. I'm going to send you something. If I'm going to reward you, if I'm going to honor you, I don't need you to do your part, because my covenant isn't so much with you as it is with Dad. I'm answering to Dad because it's what I did in witness to honoring that relationship first. Whether or not it ever comes back, it's not on me. So there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that, a lot of personal integrity that comes to that. And some of those things we'd like to highlight here, that it's not just one thing or another, but there's different degrees or maturation possibilities, as it were. And we encourage you, after you've heard a little bit more from what Thomas has to share in detail, that if you still like to learn more what that is and how you might be able to use that in your organization, with whom the other professionals you work, take it. It's what it's there for. You can benefit. Everything that we produced, it's not copywritten in the sense that, it's exclusive. It's meant to share in the same way that we share some good news. It's meant to glorify God, and not just what we say we believe, but it's in our documents that really starts, man, you guys really are different. And I like that. So if it seems fresh, if it seems new or improved, what have you, it should. And so we'd like to highlight a few things. So Thomas, please take it away.
All right, thank you for that, Dale. Rather than read this to you, let me just kind of share with you, I think, what makes a good power partner. And Dale's already hinted to it. You recognize that you have gifts and abilities, and you're here to give of yourself. And so what makes for a good partner, power partner, and one of the things that we look for, and Dale and I specifically, is where are you currently giving your time and your talent and your treasure to? If you're not doing that already, sorry, you're probably not a good fit. You're not ready for what it is that we're inviting you into. So that's not meant to discourage anybody, but it's meant to challenge you that we do not want to add. We don't want to add to your burden. If you feel like you already have a full plate and you can't give anymore, that's okay. Now, if you find something here at King's Counsel and Trust that you think you might want to rebalance your portfolio and say, rather than giving an hour over to some other initiative, and maybe you're not seeing the results that you want to, then we would invite you to, again, rebalance your portfolio and say, rather than giving your hour over to this organization, you might want to redirect it over into a new direction. So that's really the invitation, is what are you giving to right now? We're not looking for anything more than, say, maybe an hour to 3 hours tops per week. So, I mean, we're not looking for full-time volunteerism here, but this is a volunteer organization. So it's really important that, I don't think we can understate the fact that sharing good news oftentimes doesn't come naturally to people. I'm around a lot of people who love to share bad news. And man, that's just, that's, as Dale said, if you can't speak life into something, just keep it to yourself. This is not the place to have it. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't have deeper conversations and share your struggles, but yeah, this is meant to be a joyful period of time as we get together. And again, happiness is based on circumstances. Joy comes from, the heart, from within. And so, that's essentially what we're looking for as a power partner, is that you kind of have your act together, you know who you are, you know what your calling is, and you're here to give of yourself. Shannon was kind enough to put these 12 manifestations of what we think we'd like to see in power partners. And again, it still comes back to the fact that you're here to give of yourself to someone else. And oftentimes, and again, if you understand kingdom living, give and it will be given to you. It's not buy and sell. And it doesn't mean that there isn't buying and selling that happens in the kingdom, but give. It's a selfless act, give, and you will be given to. So you often will find, and this has been my experience with people who have power partners and those who go on to engage in an ABC agreement with projects. Oftentimes people miss the greatest blessing to themselves to get to where they want to go is by helping someone else with a project, with maybe it's just a simple introduction that leads to the results that that company's looking for. Because I can assure you, KCT has a way to reward your efforts. As Dale already mentioned, honoring the relationship is really key principle to KCT. We win together, we lose together. So I like the analogy from, I guess it was Herb Brooks and Miracle on Ice. He happened to be the head coach of the University of Minnesota, where I went to school. At the time I played hockey, although I didn't play hockey for the University of Minnesota. But Herb Brooks wasn't interested in the best players. He was looking for the right players. So this is not a team of superstars. This is a team of people like myself, far from a superstar. And I'm sure Larry would also agree that, Larry's very gracious with his words. I look to Larry for wisdom. So kind of embarrassed that Larry would say that he looks or wants to be around my coattails, because frankly, it's really the other way around. What's the next slide there to have for us, Shannon? Okay, I already mentioned shared expense, shared reward. Really, again, fundamentally, there's 3 ways to engage with KCT. The first option is simply show up. Just be present. And when I mean be present, I mean, while you're here, and all I can see most of you, I'm assuming that no one else is, you're not texting your girlfriend or your sweetheart, or you're here and you're present, you're paying attention to what's going on today in this moment. But I have some great examples of people who are not on this call, who have essentially done far beyond what they've indicated they would do, even though they're at and engaged with option A. They simply make qualified introductions. They're always looking for ways to connect dots. Dale calls them divine pollinators. And I think that's that's descript because I myself am by trade or training, a manufacturer's rep. You kill it, you grill it. You know, I love the hunt. But once the game's in the bag, I want to go out and get something else. I don't want to be content with what I have. I want to be always searching, but I like to do it in such a fashion. I don't want to travel the wide trail. I want the trail less traveled. And Larry, this, you know, you'll get a kick out of this. Having said that, I remember when we were in Panama and we were on this guided, what appeared to be a guided tour, but we went up this hill that was like 60 degrees. I mean, we had people having panic attacks, and you know, we're going to have people have heart attacks trying to climb this hillside. We were clearly in a place that hadn't been traveled by very many individuals. I wouldn't be surprised if there hasn't been maybe 12 people have taken that trail in the last 12 years. But that's, I think, indicative of kingdom. It's the trail less traveled. It's that doesn't make sense. Yeah, but this is what you need to do in order to get you where that I'm leading you to. So this is really an opportunity to walk out your faith. It doesn't have to make sense. Doesn't mean that we don't try to use wisdom, but in the counsel of many, you know, we feel like we're accomplishing quite a bit here. So again, option A is simply show up. You simply make introductions. There's absolutely zero expense to that. Now, it should be stated that while we will reward you for making those introductions, there is a limit to our ability to reward you because we have to be able to honor those relationships who are bringing more to the table. So you bring in a relationship that introduction that leads to some increase for KCT, we are going to share that with you. But if you want to engage and make yourself known a little bit more deeply to us, we do have a way, and I mentioned this is a give and receive economy. We do have an opportunity if you want to participate at option B, $100 monthly contribution to help us offset our monthly expenses. That will allow you to have more access to our deal flow and greater rewards when we have when we do have wins, because again, we have what's called a 1090 rewards model. Essentially what it means is that everything that comes in is going to flow through us. We have a portion that supports KCT and everything else just continues to move on down the road. So again, think of KCT as a conduit and a steward, wanting to be a good demonstration of stewardship to the blessings that we have. Option C is, again, a more robust engagement. It's a $500 quarterly. Now you're getting access to more of our software service, our back office stuff. We use Monday. We have Box Enterprise. So we have a lot of things that we want to give you so that you don't have to pay for things that we already have. So again, what we have, we share with you freely. And as Dale mentioned to you, we have a lot of things that we give away that frankly, a lot of people just don't understand the value of because they don't really get the heart of what it is that they have. And I'll just give you an example. One of our giveaways is our 2-page executive summary. People like Rui, he got it. He gets it. I met another gentleman not too long ago. He's not on the call. His name is Jeff Borgland. He gets it. He's understand it. He shared it. And the feedback he's getting from people that he shares it with, they're like, I can't believe you give this away. It's like, this is tremendously valuable. But oftentimes people will use it. They'll look at it and they'll go, what's the big deal? So again, you have to have eyes to see when you're, again, this is a spiritual journey, if you will. So you do have to use your eyes, but you have to have spiritual eyes as well, because it may not make sense, but I can assure you our 2-page executive summary that we give away as a lost leader, it's of high value, probably $50,000 to $100,000 value if it gets you to where you want to go, and it gets you there without taking on debt or having to sell away equity. And so what's the cost of that? So was there another slide? Yeah, so I'll turn it back over to Shannon then. You're muted, dear.
Thank you so much, Thomas. And hopefully, please, if you have questions, put it in the chat. We're going to open up for Q&A at the end. If this is something that you're interested more, I'm going to do a poll in just a minute. You can give us some feedback, but I wanted to share with you this website and how you can actually connect directly with what we're doing. And so we do have our KCTFO /co-vestors. This does talk about one of the primary initiatives we've been focusing on, the ICO wallet, but on here is a contact form. And so this is a place where you can fill out your information. You can also share what your interest level is, and make any notes here. And then what we'll do is follow up and book a one-on-one time with you, because we want to know where do you see fit? How can we help you in those various pieces? This is also a great place to be able to share. We do have our town hall meetings that we encourage new people to come to learn more. We actually go through a lot of the various initiatives that KCT is working on globally. There's a number of them. So please take this website, and I'll put that in the chat in just one moment, for a resource. Also, we're going to get ready to do our breakout session. I wanted to share with you our upcoming events. So this is our next event that's coming up. Well, actually our town hall. So our town hall again is kind of our discovery, get to know KCT. We do a breakout session there also, so you can meet new people. You get to hear about different initiatives. Every time it is different. Dale picks, there's a lot that they're working on. So if you want the replays, please let us know. We'd love to get you up to speed on what's going on, but please join us at that time. It's another great opportunity and a great time to make those introductions. This is our cooperative marketing agreement. So if you start looking at those three options and you say, yay, I do want to get involved, or I do want to help, or I do have an hour a week, or I want to know a little bit more about what you're doing. We have a GSD, which stands for Get Stuff Done, or whatever you want to put in the word stuff. But this is a working meeting. This is really great. Rui, thank you so much for showing up last time. David, Sam, you got to see behind the scenes to our project management, which was really remarkable. You got to see some of the things that we're working on, and you get to say, hey, I want to help with this, or I want to learn this. And it's really a great time to connect at a deeper level with KCT. And then this is our next Power Partner meeting. And so we hope you come back again and participate in what we're doing. So if you want to take a screenshot of that, you may. Also, I'll put that in the chat in just a moment. But now we get to our breakout session. And so we're going to get into small groups. In our breakout session, we have a few questions. One is, what's your name? What brought you here today? And it could be either or. How can we support you? Or what are you looking for next? Is there something that you'd like some support with? This is a chance to tap into the community and ask for help or ask for support. So with that, we're going to do just a couple minutes each. We do encourage, I noticed a number of you have put your contact information in the chat. I want to remind you that when you go into the breakout room, only the people in the breakout room are going to see that. So this is just kind of a touch point. We do encourage you to continue to connect beyond this. We love hearing stories of people that meet that ideal person. When people make their ask of what they're looking for next, just if you have a solution, drop a name real quick. I may say, hey, you need to talk to my friend Debbie. And then, we don't go into a bunch of detail at that time because we're limited, but they know to follow up with me and mention the word Debbie. So anything that you can do to pass on just so that it helps make that connection when you reconnect is great. We will need a timekeeper. So I like to put my phone next to the speaker so that they can hear when it's time's up, or give a 10-second warning. And we really ask that when we get into the breakout room that you please be mindful of the time, because we want to make sure everybody gets a chance to go. It's really important that last person gets heard. So right now we're going to have 3 to 4 people in a room, just to let you know. So if there is, then actually we have perfect for 4, it looks like. So it'll be 2 minutes each. And if somebody wants to take notes or put it in the chat, or, and when we come back, we'll have just a real quick moment to be able to share. Any questions about this before I put you into a breakout room? Is everybody clear and excited to meet some new people? All right. If you do a time warp and you're in one room and I pull you out and put you into another, just bear with me. I'll do that real quick. Sometimes we have all of KCT in one room and we want to split you up a little bit. So we'll go ahead and do that. So you'll see something that pops up and you can go ahead and hit enter.
Especially Brad, that perhaps some of the others may be able to add, or if, what else do you have? So go ahead.
Okay, great. So can we do the Q&A at the very end? Is that okay? Or do you want to do it now?
Brad, if you can stick around to the end, by all means, I'd love to hear more from you and at least get the next intention of having a deeper discussion.
Yeah, I'll be happy to stay around. Yep.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, Brad. We're so glad you're here. Okay, we have one quick poll here. Can everybody see the poll?
Yes.
Oh, good. So if you could just take a moment, this is regarding the CMC program, of the 3 things that Thomas went over, the various options. And then Dale, I'm hoping before we get into the Q&A, a quick wallet update, even if it's just a second, and then we'll get right into the Q&A.
True enough. Just
So if
say
you want to do that now while they're filling this out, then we'll be ready to go.
Okay. We started this whole tell the whole world what's going on because of a download I got back in June. And I was basically told, like Noah, there's going to be a flood. Well, maybe not in our case, but there's going to be an event and we're going to need a particular raft, an ark to get through it. That opportunity we led with our entire mailing list maybe a month and a half or 2 ago. To let the folks know, hey, many hands make for light work, come see what's going on. And that has to do with the digital wallet, the ICO wallet. We have something unique and proprietary that no one else has in the cryptocurrency space. No bank has yet in the fiat or the, I'll just say, everyday walking around money space. We've got something that is a hybrid of the two. That bridges it from the unbanked of America that leans on money orders and things like that to those of very sophisticated digital currency and conventional banking and credit union systems, all under one little, as we'll call it, an app that kind of fits on your smartphone. And that's the new proposition. Where we are, we started this some 3 years ago in terms of an RFP process, and it wasn't time 2 years ago. It's obviously time now, and we believe that October is going to be a very interesting month for a lot of folks, and it's not going to get very easy. In fact, we believe with our intelligence, it's going to get a lot worse in the months in the year to come. But that said, this app is going to allow us, regardless of whether the grid goes down, to exchange, at the local farmers market, gas station, supermarket, what have you, in a variety of currencies, including crypto. To be able to redeem in whatever the local currency is, albeit if you're in a different country, for example, and the like. So we're excited to get out of the gate. What we found is in the last because we've been able to attract all of the treasure, what we need to pay for it. Brad, to your question, do we have the money? In this case, this is one of our initiatives. Well, we're spending up to $250,000 on this. We found that there's a lot more folks that are not just smarter, but also willing to do it for less. So we've overestimated how much it would cost. We've overestimated how long it would take. And it looks like we're in a very good position right now to have a prototype by the end of the year. And that's exciting. That's where we're at. So inside of 2 months, I'm fairly pleased, albeit frustrated because I see it so clearly now. I wish I had it today, but I know things take time. So that's about where we are on that at a high level. And for everyone that's participated to help make that happen, both individually with, I'll just say post-tax money, and those with pre-tax and using self-directed IRAs, I've got to thank you immensely, because that helped kind of accelerate things forward with not just what we have, but with what you have to share and make the recipe work. So I'll pause there. Can I take a question or a comment on that, Shannon?
Yeah, perfect. Now we're going to move right into Q&A. And so please, you can either raise your hand. There's a thing at the bottom that has, I believe, reactions. And there's a button that says raise your hand. I can't see everybody. So if you're raising your hand, I don't want to miss you. And I know, Brad, you had some questions, and we'll go from there.
Looking how do I, oh, there he is, raise my hand there. Okay, I just raised my hand.
All right, we got you.
Okay, so what is a typical scenario for, I'll use the word, a KC deal, opportunity, or deal? What's something that you've done multiple times over? Is there an average? What does that look like?
I'd like to include some of our other team. Anyone care to respond to that? I mean, I know I can. but this is an us event.
I just need a
Tom,
little more
Larry?
clarity, maybe. Maybe you guys understand it, but maybe Thomas is better.
Yeah, I was sharing with our breakout session that typically KCT, what really captures our attention is an initiative that say it's going to impact 1 billion people. You know, we're looking for something that's going to have a global impact. Now, it doesn't mean we won't look at things that are pre-revenue but our ideal candidate is someone who's in revenue, has team, knows that they can't do it on their own, knows that what they've been given isn't for them, it's really for society at large, and they're not going to sell out. So I personally am not really excited to work with people who are just looking to go to an IPO and, you know, and sell out and just like, well, now what are you going to do? But like I say, the fascinating part for us is there's all types of opportunities that we get a chance to look at. We just came off a call just prior to this meeting where they asked for the next level for this particular doctor and her initiative. She's essentially pioneering a brand new nano biophysics frontier. What in the world is that? Well, she knows that she's got something that the world needs, and she knows that she's going to get a lot of pushback because her solution essentially makes vaccines a moot point. You know, but she's got team. It's going to have a global impact. You know, and she needs some significant resources. She needs $50 million just to get to the next stage, you know, and 500 million when she after that. So that's a big impact, and that, you know, that gets us excited. But that doesn't mean that opportunities that Rui has brought us, which is in the mining sector, it's also very exciting because, again, people need to see the instrument and understand the instrument, that if you're going to have an impact on people, we want everybody to be able to play and be rewarded. It's not just for the wealthy, the upper 1% or the top 0.001% of people. We want everyone who has a mind to give and be able to give all that they have and be able to be rewarded by their giving. So again, it's all over the place, but ideally 1 billion people, you know, a global impact, that's what really gets our attention. But again,
So on that one where they need 50 million, what's your process? Do you kind of package it and then source it out to the network, or how does it work then?
well, for this particular initiative, we're going to have to work with the instrument that she currently is utilizing, which is a debt instrument. But we will help find potential funding source for her. But we have to do it very carefully because she's got an SEC instrument and we're not licensed to do that. But again,
Right.
we've got some mechanisms in place and protocols in place where we're able to address those types of issues to protect all parties involved. But we don't hold ourselves out for commerce. You know, specifically to your question, that's not a fee for service model that we have.
If I could, Brad, it's in this case, it's not so much the what, but the how we're doing it that really has their attention, that we can add to her current offering beyond that. So it allows us to be able to lead with the icing, not so much the cake in this case, because the problem we're solving is how do you raise capital without using equity, debt, personal guarantees, or collateral?
Right.
We've got that, and that doesn't have the jurisdiction as you shared with the licensure. We got to be very careful how we do that. Having been in compliance myself, you know, I know you could certainly appreciate that.
Yeah,
But
and
I might add, there's one other thing too. You know, that's one side in terms of a project. That the flip side is you make a bunch of money, you've got a federal income tax issue. So whether you've made it in capital gains, you've made it in retirement or some other thing, then you start to draw that. This I can assure you, and this gets back to structure and strategy, that if you've got a $50,000 tax problem, we can almost, I can't guarantee, based on what I know we can do, we can almost make that go away. There's legitimate ways. This is long before the IRS even existed in terms of law and code that's been on the books. that our average tax savings in that case, where KCT makes its rewards, is a function of not the top line, but the bottom line of the tax savings. Our average client will save more than $260,000 in taxes, federal income tax alone. So this applies to most business owners with 7-figure incomes and or individuals, 1099 employees. Huge opportunity to help do better with what they're already doing, for example.
Well, I can tell you're being very careful on how you're wording that. I think I can read between the lines, and I think I know where you are with that, and I'm very much on that page with you as well. So maybe all the more reason we need to talk a little bit then.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to do a quick sneak peek, Dale, if I can, just in Monday, just to show, I'm not going to show any details, but one of the, I think, real signature things you do. Can I do that really quick? Yes.
Cool.
Okay. So for example, any initiative that he does, he pulls in a whole project management team, piece. And so like, this is all the stuff to get it listed in InTrust, which that's a huge piece for raising capital. He helps set up all of the website inbound flow leads, various pieces. This is just the ICO wallet initiative. So I do invite, if you want to look behind the curtain, to join that CMC event, because we really go through and you can see you assign tasks. You can see that, we get down and get stuff done, in other words. And there's a lot of pieces that Dale pulls in and brings in a number of experts, whatever it might be, to help accomplish the goal.
What we've learned over the years is that everybody wants Dale, and there's only so much of Dale to go around, and that's why the team's continuing to expand and become more specialized in this area or that area. And as Dale was mentioning, wealth preservation and tax avoidance and that sort of stuff, we have not your run-of-the-mill trusts. We have trusts that your trust attorney has never heard of. And we've got a number of clients we're working with where their annual tax liability runs from $50,000 a year to $750,000 a year. And so we can make, as Dale said, maybe not 100% of it, but the overwhelming majority of it. And it's been tried, tested, it's copyrighted, it's everything. It's bulletproof, to be candid with you.
Are you referring to things like non-statutory trusts or private membership associations, things like that?
The lead animal is a non-grantor, irrevocable, complex, copyrighted spendthrift trust with a couple more items in there that I'll just keep out.
Yeah. Okay.
Those can be beneficial too. Again, it's not a cookie cutter thing, Brad. I think, David, it would be good that perhaps we join that conversation.
Sure.
Brad, come with a licensed background. We need to equip you with more, Brad, I think, before you can decide to make an informed decision to, as it were, partner in some way. So we certainly don't want to put a machine gun in your hands in the dark ages where, it's bows and arrows and spears.
Right.
So.
Well, good. I think I'll leave my questions there. And again, I apologize for my video card being out. I really am a sociable guy, and I'm not hard on the eyes. I just don't have a good video card right now.
That's okay. So we are at the top of the hour. I don't know if we had one more question before we close it out. Anybody else have any questions?
Shannon, most everybody has my scheduler, but in the event that Brad does not, I'm just looking at the thread. Would you mind dropping in my scheduler?
I went ahead and filled out the form. We want him to fill out the form first. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. That was the best thing. So the Brad bottom there, kctfo.com, Covestors, basic info, and we'll get some time on the calendar here in the weeks ahead. Thank you.
And
Wonderful, thank you.
And then the CMC event, I hear that some of you are having challenges with the browser. I went ahead and put in the direct Zoom link there. So if you want to, and again, this is a private event. You have to attend a Power Partner meeting to be able to participate. So you do need to register. Even if you're on our team, like Larry, if you want to join us, then please register for that. And that is the direct link. Now to save the chat, right where you're typing, there are 3 dots. And if you click on the 3 dots, there's an option that says save chat, and it'll usually save it in a Zoom file on your computer. You can usually just type in Zoom and it will pull up this information. We'll also have a follow-up email that goes out with the replay of today so that you can rewatch, or if there's anything else that comes up. And also here is our upcoming event calendar event. So if you want to take a quick screenshot, you can. And with that, Dale, any closing remarks before we say farewell?
Mostly, I just appreciate everyone doing their part to help their loved ones and their neighbors get through the trying times. And when you get stuck, just know that you've got a family, a brotherhood to lean on, and we're here for you. So thanks for playing the part.
I'm sorry, that's so beautiful. I did forget to mention, Dale, our Love Your Neighbor. Do you care if I say that really quick?
By all means.
Okay, great. So we also have another community that we started the minute COVID went, came out. It's called Love Your Neighbor. And if you go to thegreatestcommand.com, we did move we are meeting the second Tuesday of every month. So the next one is going to be next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a beautiful community that have been on the journey that Dale has been sharing, how to get your house in order. We've helped fund over 200,000 in businesses through local grants. There's a lot that we've accomplished over the last year and a half that we're really proud of. And it's free. We love to have each of you come. I know Debbie, you've come. David, you've participated. So if you're able to join us, it's next Tuesday at 8 p.m. And I did put the link there. And I think that's it.
Thank you, Shannon.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
God bless everyone. Thanks for participating. Bye for
Thank
now.
you.
Remember
Thank
to save the chat. I get to see you, Debbie. I'm so excited.
Thank you.